Welcome to Bedford High School for tonight's game, Division II matchup between the Bedford Bulldogs and the Winnacunnet Warriors. I'm Pete Terrier, bringing you another great Friday night of coverage right here on nhsportspage.com. A couple of 1-0 teams coming in. Winnacunnet coming in tied for 7th in the Union Leader WGIR WMUR Power Poll. They had an impressive win last week, not too far from here in Amherst, against the Souhegan Sabres. They won the game 41-7 behind the hard running of Ben Franzoso. Finished with over 180 yards and 3 touchdowns in the game, led by a big offensive line that I'm really looking forward to seeing in person tonight. Going up against the Bedford Bulldogs, no problem right back here last Friday night against Milford, 48-7, playing a team that they used to play in Division III. Now Bedford's moved up to D2. This is their first D2 game and a good test off the bat with Winnacunnet coming in here. Bulldogs, of course, led by their quarterback, outstanding senior James Caparell, 276 yards passing with 4 touchdowns, only in about 3 quarters worth of work. So this should be a very interesting game tonight. We'll definitely have all the highlights for you of this one. Come back at halftime with a halftime recap and the final score and the final recap once the game's all over. Reporting live from Bedford High School for Bedford and Winnacunnet, Pete Terrier on nhsportspage.com. Nothing at the half. Winnacunnet on top of Bedford. A 1-yard run by the quarterback for Winnacunnet, Inghao Wiesna. Nice second effort. You saw it on the highlights there at the half, courtesy of our videographer, John Kesty. I'm Pete Terrier for nhsportspage.com. Bedford came out moving the ball down the field with their patented passing game. James Caparell doing some damage. Started off 3 for 4, but then misfired in his last 7 attempts of that first half. Finished up the half at 3 for 11 and 35 yards passing. But for Winnacunnet, another big first half, another big game in the making for Ben Franzoso. Outstanding running back. Last week, 3 touchdowns and 180 plus yards on the ground. Well on his way, at least yardage-wise, 17 carries in the first half for a $107 at the half. He did lose a fumble deep inside Bedford territory that Bedford recovered. But other than that, it's been basically the Ben Franzoso show and a defensive struggle both ways. We'll have the second half highlights coming up, and then in the post-game, interviews with the players and coaches and the post-game recap. Once again, at the half, 7-0, Winnacunnet leading Bedford. 13-6, Winnacunnet comes into Bedford and knocks off the Bulldogs, improving to 1-0 in this young Division II season. I'm here with running back Ben Franzoso and the quarterback Inghal Wiesna. And let's start with you, Ben. Another big game on the ground, a workhorse back for this Winnacunnet Warrior team. Finished with 27 carries, 142 yards. I'm sure you like the stats, but I'm sure you'll love winning this game at Bedford tonight.
I can't even talk right now. I'm so excited, but yeah, my line just stepped up again tonight, and that's what happened. I don't know.
How about your defense, Ben? Because to hold those guys scoreless until the last play of the game, which was really meaningless, I'm sure you guys wanted a shutout, but the defense was very dominant tonight.
My defense was incredible tonight. I'm extremely proud of them. Big shout out to them. Yeah.
How do you feel about being 1-0 and 2-0 overall?
Real excited, real excited. But looking forward to Manchester West next week. So.
Inghal, got to ask you about that touchdown run in the first half. You were stuffed at the line on a 1-yard play, trying to get into the end zone. Good second effort. You bounced it to the left side. What did you see there? How'd you get in?
Well, I pretty much just saw nothing, and the whistle wasn't even blown, so I just tried to make something out of nothing. So, the line did a good job trying to give me time. So, yeah.
You threw a 16-yard touchdown pass or a 15-yard touchdown pass to put your team on top 13-0. A nice catch and a nice throw and catch play for you guys.
Yeah, it was. Witt ran a great route. Line gave me plenty of time, play action, and he was wide open. I just had to hit him. It was easy.
Inghal Wiesna and Cullen Witt hooking up with a touchdown. Just want to ask you one more, Ben. A lot of people not necessarily sure about how good this Winnacunnet team is this year. You struggled last year, didn't make the playoffs after being a power in D2. You think this win will help you guys get finally the respect that you guys think you deserve?
I think so. It's definitely going to give us momentum going into the next game, and then we're just going to carry it on out. We're going to take it one game at a time.
All right, Ben Franzoso, Inghal Wiesna. Winnacunnet's 2-0, 1-0 in Division II. Bedford, the Warriors head coach Ron Offont joining us here. Coach, you just said you never thought this one would end. What was it about the game that seemed interminable for you?
Well, they run that spread, so they pass the ball a lot. So and they're tough. They could score anytime. Their quarterback's real good. Their skill people are good. So they could score anytime, anywhere on the field. So at the end there, we started punting the ball with a half a second, but you know what? I'll take it right now. It was just a good team effort defensively. They played really well tonight.
I mean, you guys held them scoreless until that final play of the game, which was really meaningless. Do you think that that's something that you can use and say, hey, guys, you know what? You didn't close the deal. You had them shut out.
Well, what I like was the kids at the end were not happy. They won the game, but the defense was not happy. So that's good. They're competitors. But I told them you got to enjoy it. I'll take that on me at the end there. We probably should have had a normal punt instead of doing what we call a quick kick. So, I'll take that on me. But, they battled all game, and they really felt like they wanted to get that shutout. But credit to them. They came up with a great play at the end, and they scored.
Offensively, once again, the Ben Franzoso show with the big help from the offensive line. I mean, that line, probably the strength of your team. And you got a kid like that who can, he didn't have the big play tonight like he did last week, but he obviously can get chunks of yards at a time.
Yeah, Ben is an interesting back because he could break at any time. Wherever you are, he's got that speed. And today it looked like he was just one step, one hand, one foot. But they did a good job. Their secondary came up and did some good things with him, and they have some good athletes in the secondary. But Ben is an excellent back, and he should have a good year.
Coach Offont, thanks so much. It's Pete Terrier. Once again, Bedford losing at home in their home opener, their Division II opener, to Winnacunnet. 13-6 was the final. Reporting live on NH. Winnacunnet Warriors, impressive tonight, winning at Bedford by a score of 13-6. It was really a shutout until the final play at the game. Bedford had a chance to one last play, and they threw it deep to the end zone. It was only 16 yards away. James Caparel hitting Mike Bayless for a touchdown, but a dominating effort by the Winnacunnet defense. Up to that point, Bedford had only totaled about 200 yards of total offense. James Caparel, after having almost a 300-yard game last week in their victory against Milford, was held under 100 yards. I had him 9 for 21 for 83 yards and that 1 touchdown on the last play of the game. Brian Collins, who had a huge game last week, caught a big bomb from Caparel early in that game against Milford, was held pretty much in check. Did have 6 catches, but only for 42 yards, so it was mostly right around the line, short stuff over the middle of the field. They really couldn't take advantage of the size of Brian Collins. For Winnacunnet, as we said before when we talked to Ben Francoso and Wiesna, another big game, 27 carries, 140 yards for the workhorse, Ben Francoso. Wiesna doing what he had to do. Ron Offont, the coach, they don't like to throw the ball. They don't want to throw the ball a lot. They want to when they want to. And Wiesna pretty good so far tonight. 5 of 8 passing the football, 1 touchdown pass to Colin Witt, and he finished with 75 yards in the air. But really the defense and that strong offensive line, that big offensive line for Winnacunnet, the big story in this one as they improve to 2-0 on the season, most likely improving their position in the Union Leader WGIR WMUR Power Poll coming up when that comes out on Monday. Bedford 1-1 on the season. They're 0-1 in D2. Winnacunnet starts off on the right foot after missing the playoffs last year in D2. They're 1-0. They have a game against Manchester West coming up next. Once again, your final score, 13-6, Winnacunnet over Bedford, live from Bedford High School in Bedford, New Hampshire. I'm Pete Terrier for NHSportsPage.com.